Millions of our ancestors came through Ellis Island in New York. Mine certainly did. So it's a great place for genealogists to explore and learn new things about their family history. Well, there have been some changes and things happening over at the Ellis Island Foundation. And here to tell us more about it is Suzanne Mannion. She's the Director of Public Affairs at the Statue of Liberty Ellis Island Foundation. Hi, Suzanne.
Hi. Hi, Lisa. How are you?
I'm doing great. And I'm so glad that you're here today. We're always interested when things are happening over at Ellis Island.
It's wonderful to be here. Thank you for the opportunity.
You bet. Well, you got in touch with me about some new things happening with the American Immigrant Wall of Honor. So I thought we'd just have you first start us off and make sure we're all acquainted with what that Wall of Honor is.
Oh, that would be my pleasure. So the American Immigrant Wall of Honor was introduced in 1990 when the Ellis Island Museum opened originally. It was after the foundation had restored Liberty and Ellis Island, and it was a way to support the foundation, but more importantly, a way to celebrate people's individual family immigrant experience. And primarily it was Ellis Island immigrants and or their descendants whose names were on the wall for the start. And then over the years it expanded, and it's now open to everyone, regardless of your immigration story or timeline. And it's really been so well received. What is it, 40 years later? Hard to believe, right? 40. And there are more than 800,000 names on the wall of the original Wall of Honor. So that actually filled up, and we had to turn people away and say, sorry, we're filled up. And then through our partnership with the National Park Service, we're able to expand the Wall of Honor, which we just announced earlier this year. And the first round of names on the expanded wall are being submitted right now and through the end of this year. And those names will be unveiled in the summer. And it's just wonderful. We were so excited that the Park Service gave us this opportunity because people were disappointed. I missed my chance. And there's so many people who want to celebrate, whether it's themselves, their parents, a loved one, to celebrate the immigrant experience, because that's what Ellis Island is all about. Whether your family came here like mine in the mid 1800s or last year, it's all about the celebration.
I think many people watching might be really surprised to realize that many of the names that are on there are not Ellis Island people who came through the island itself, which we would normally, if you would go to Mount Vernon, you don't necessarily expect to see a list of Thomas Jefferson's kids or,
yes,
whatever. So I'm interested, when did that decision get made? When did it change from a Wall of Honor Ellis Island to including everybody?
It's probably in the early 2000s. Oh. So as you know, the Ellis Island database was launched in April of 2001. And so with that, people were celebrating the Ellis experience. And whether or not it's true, I say, we should take some credit for helping genealogy become such a popular pastime.
I think so.
And people. So with that, people come in, and even those visiting who don't have roots through Ellis Island, they feel the connection to America's immigration story. So people started asking if they could add their names to it, and it made complete sense. And our goal, of course, is to continue expanding our database so it has more ports of entry. And with that, we're at the National Museum of Immigration, so let's tell the whole story. So yeah, it's been I would say well over a decade that you don't have to be. It wasn't. You're not excluded from, and it's great. And I'm loving seeing, hearing other people's stories and these different countries, because it's very much was European and things like that, and now they're from all over the world. It's wonderful. It really is wonderful. We did an event out on Ellis Island a couple of months back. And we were talking to people about just finding out how many generations their family has been in the US. And so you start talking to people, and everyone has a story.
Yeah.
Everyone has, they might not even realize they have a story. Standing there, and this guy's oh, I have to call my cousin. My cousin's looked into this. His family goes back to early 1700s, and it's just the awe on people's face, because you have to have respect for those who came before us. We wouldn't be here without the bravery of those who came before us.
So let's talk a little bit about, well, you mentioned that there's a database, because one of my first questions would be, well, before I try to submit a name, I want to check and see if there is a name. So they can search this database on the website, and would it include any more information, that particular database, besides just the fact that the name's on the wall?
Yeah, there's two different databases. So there's the Ellis Island database, through which one can trace family or anyone who came to the Port of New York between 1820 and 1957. And then the Wall of Honor database. In there, you can see the name of the person who's on the wall and the person who submitted the name. So some people do it for themselves, but it could be from Suzanne in honor of her great-great-grandfather, Michael Mannion. So yeah, it could be like that.
Okay, great.
Which is just lovely.
And then, so what's the process? Now, you mentioned that there might be a deadline. We're recording here in 2023. So up until what, the end of the year, they can submit names, and what's the process for that? And then will there be another opportunity maybe down the road as well?
The opportunity is continuous, but what we do is we only put up a new panel once a year.
Right.
So from January 1 to December 31st, people submit their names. And then at the beginning of the following calendar year, we create a new panel, and then we unveil it in early summer. So if you want to make it onto that first panel of the wall expansion, then please submit the name or names by the 31st of December. And if you are able to submit a name by this Wednesday, the 20th of December, you can get a digitized certificate of registration that you can use as a gift.
Great. And is there a cost involved? I believe this is a fundraiser for foundation, correct?
It is such a great way to show support for the foundation and the work that we do in restoring, preserving the two monuments. So yes, the cost starts at $275 for a one-line inscription, and anyone can go to libertyellisfoundation.org, and you'll see there an option to go to Wall of Honor, and it explains the process, the pricing. There are higher levels of, like, steward levels if you want more lines, and that's, of course, additional support for the foundation. And also, if you become a member at a certain level, but that includes a Wall of Honor inscription. So there's just many ways to support the work that we do. We've been around since 1982. We were created. President Reagan asked Lee Iacocca to head up the effort to not only raise money, but to oversee the restoration of the statue and of Ellis Island for their centennials. And we've continued to work so closely with our partners at the National Park Service. In 2019, we opened the Statue of Liberty Museum on Liberty Island. If anyone's had the chance to be out there, it's a small museum with a big impact, I think. There's beautiful visuals. Her original torch lives right there in the museum. It's such a wonderful place. I'm so fortunate to have this job.
Oh, you are.
I say to people, you can't have that day, because, look out the window, look where you are. It's just amazing.
It is.
And so, our work continues, and we don't take government money to do any of the projects at the islands. It's all through donations, and has been since our inception. And we're very proud of that, because I think one speaks to the work that we do. People respect the work that we do, and they know their dollars are going to be used well and productively. And then I think it speaks so much to people, not just in the U.S., but globally. They donate to us. Perhaps it's the statue that inspired them. Perhaps it's, of course, my colleagues at the Family History Center, they remind me often that immigrants didn't always stay. Some came and worked and went home, and their ancestors now living abroad feel a connection to Ellis Island, even though they don't live in America. So they like to donate, and they put their names on the Wall of Honor because their family, their ancestors were immigrants. But it even can be someone who came last year. You've come to America to make this your home. Let's celebrate that.
Wow. I remember back in high school when Lee Iacocca was taking this on, and my grandmother was so excited, and we saw the promos and things they did for it because her parents had come through, and wow, it was in really tough shape. They did. I mean, what it stands there today is just amazing. It's a wonderful experience. I encourage everybody watching to at some point make the visit because it really is heart-touching.
Yeah, and check out on our website. We have some amazing views partnering with a company called EarthCam. You can see different views from the statue and learn more about that. We have some educational videos about Ellis Island immigrant experiences. You know, what happened when someone was born on the ship? Right. You know, what were stowaways situations? So my colleagues created these great little snippets of video that explain those experiences and also explain how to read the manifest the best way. And we really are hoping more and more to provide these educational experiences, usually virtually, including upcoming in Roots Tech next year. We'll be having a couple of sessions there too. So yeah,
awesome.
That's great.
You know, and in the spirit of good stewardship, you know, when people invest money and do something like this, I'm interested to know, is this money, this fundraiser, does it fully just only kind of support the creation of the wall, or were there specific projects that you had in mind this year that this money goes directly to that we can maybe look forward to in the future?
Yeah, I can't say right now, but I would love to come back in a few months to talk about a project we're planning over on Ellis Island. So the donations that come via the Wall of Honor support the foundation's mission in general to restore and preserve the two monuments, and that includes maintaining the Wall of Honor. And another thing that may inspire people to add the name this year is because costs are going up to not only create this new expansion and to maintain the wall, there will be a $25 increase in inscriptions starting January 1st. And we do our very best not to increase often and in increments because we respect those who are supporting us. And so the money goes to small projects. We maintain some of the exhibitry. So if it's digital exhibitry, so that helps us support that. And then, of course, the Family History Center, the database is free online. And that's where you can get a manifest. And if you're at Ellis Island, it's a $10 session fee for access there. The added benefit there, of course, is you have my brilliant colleagues there to answer questions.
Everyone, you can check out the show notes for this video or a podcast so that you can get the link directly over to how to participate in the wall, how to get these searches done, and just all the wonderful, rich resources at the website, and how to maybe even plan a visit. Suzanne, it's always great to talk to you. Thank you so much for sharing this news, and I'll look forward to more news next year.
Yeah. You'll hear from me next year. Be well. Happy New Year.
Bye-bye. I hope you enjoyed that update with Suzanne Mannion at the Ellis Island Foundation. You know, there's always something new over there. Really interested to know what you think about the direction that they're going, kind of that big expansion from, you know, walking up to the wall and seeing just the Ellis Island names to seeing anybody and everybody, no matter how they came here, when they came here. It could have been last week. And what that experience will be like also for our great-grandchildren when they show up. So leave your comments down below. Let us know what you think and if you have searched for your own ancestors in their database. Always great to see you. If you want to stay in touch with me, I hope that you'll sign up for our free email newsletter. Do that over at genealogygems.com. And thank you so much for listening, my friend. I'll talk to you soon.